This is the Dope Friends Podcast, Episode 1, Freddie Harmon.
All right, every now and again, we are blessed with the opportunity to run across some really good people. People who have your back at all times, people who are there for you when you need them, and people you can show some love. And one such brother is Freddie Harmon. I've known him now for more than 30 years. And we met on the campus of Payne College. I'd like to introduce you to him. He is one of my dope friends. Freddie Harmon, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great, Raphael. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you. I've started this podcast because I realize the older I get, the older we get, things happen and some of us move off of the scene, brother. And it's not a comfortable feeling talking about them and saying things about them when they're in the box, when I could have said those things face to face. So I'm making a more intentional effort to talk to the people who mean a lot to me. And you're up on the top of the list, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. You know, you're up on the top of my list as well. You took care of me when I came to Charleston, got me on my feet. And then, from there, I went off and run it on my own.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Well, let's talk. Let's catch up for a little bit because the title of the podcast is the Dope Friends Podcast. And what that means to me is I feel like I need to have an opportunity to reach out to my friends and tell them why I think they're dope. And Freddie, one of the reasons I think you're dope is because you have never hesitated to share whatever it is that you had. And that wasn't just a college thing, even throughout life. I looked up the other day. Remember this?
Yes, sir.
You sent that to me
empty.
from yeah. And so, that meant a lot, just to go to the mailbox and get a package unexpectedly from somebody you haven't seen in years. So I appreciate you thinking about me, man, and calling and texting always. That to me is what makes you a dope friend.
Well, I appreciate that, man. You're a dope friend as well. You know, you always been that answer the phone when I call. Yeah, even doing your busy schedule with your career and everything, I call and ask you to be there for me, military lunch or anything. You always there for me. So I look out for my friends. I've had the honor and the privilege to travel the world, and so I know a lot of my friends don't get that privilege or don't have that honor. And so whenever I go somewhere, you and the wife always on my mind. I try to send you guys something back from wherever I went. That way, if I'm there, you there. That's how I feel about it.
I appreciate that. What is it though, Freddie, about you? Because everybody can't say that. And there is room for me to be a better friend. I realize that. But you seem to always have your pulse on your friends' lives, be it somebody from Payne. You've got to know everybody who's ever gone through Payne College. At least that's what it feels like watching you on social media, man. So what I want this to be is kind of instructive for people like myself who maybe don't reach out and don't keep in touch as much. How do you do it? What's the secret to keeping in touch with those around you?
I gotta say it's my mom. Growing up watching my mom, they didn't have social media, of course, but she kept a book. She kept a book of everybody's addresses, phone numbers, and she sent Christmas cards and letters to everybody and anybody, and also in our neighborhood that I grew up in. My father, he's a retired Army vet. He was the head of our household, but he was dealing with his issues from Vietnam and so forth and so on. So often when my mom would go to work, friends and neighbors would look after us, me and my siblings. And so as a token of appreciation, my mom did stuff for them. So I feel I took that from my mom. Always be appreciative of your friends, your neighbors. Always be appreciative of who you got in your life right now, because there's no guarantee whether they be there for you tomorrow. And if somebody's there for you, be there for them. 100. Just keep it 100. Don't be halfway with it. I can't sit there and let you be there for me, then I turn my back on you when you need me. That's just not me. That's not in my DNA.
Now, do you find that there are people though who you will maybe reach out to and maybe remember, and they don't always reciprocate? How do you take that? Do you take that personally?
Not really, because everybody's living their own life. Everybody's got their things to do. Everybody's going through their own ups and downs. If I reach out to you, I don't know exactly what you got going on then, but you're on my mind, so I'm gonna reach out to you. I know in your own time you'll reach out to me and let me know, what's going on with you. Or if you don't reach out to me, eventually I'll get back to you, and then we'll strike up a conversation and see. Because people go through things of their own. Even though we try to jump in and be joyful and cheerful, sometimes folks ain't ready for it. Depending on what they're going through. So I just constantly let you know that I'm here, even though I don't hear back from you right away. You know that I'm here. You'll get my note. You know that I'm here. And when you're ready, you reach back out to me, or eventually I get back around to you.
Hope you're enjoying the podcast. Want to talk with you about one of our sponsors, Pinecone Investments. There are some people who want to sell their home and they're having trouble. Maybe you've inherited a home. Maybe it's a home that was in bad repair. Maybe there is a family member who is having a situation where they really need to get out from under the debt, out from under back taxes, things of that nature, foreclosure, they're being foreclosed upon, and they need a solution. Well, Pinecone Investments can help offer that solution. Pinecone Investments isn't necessarily for everybody, but it is perfect for the person who really needs to sell their home. So give them a call, 843-259-2658, or email them, rjbuysHouses.843@gmail.com. Buy houses in any condition. And just because you may owe on the home or be upside down on the mortgage, that is not necessarily a deal breaker. So give Pinecone Investments a try. That number is 843-259-2658, or you can reach out to rjbuysHouses.843@gmail.com. Maybe it's you, maybe it's somebody you know who is going through a situation. Don't let them go through that situation alone. Call that number or reach out to that email and perhaps get some relief. And let's talk about what the solutions could be.
Let's go back, Freddie. What was your first impression of me, if you can even remember that far back?
Man, at Payne College, come on. Man, my first impression was, okay, this is a sharp individual. He's here to learn, and we like-minded. We like to do like-minded things. We hung out together, and so my first impression, okay, this cat is one of the cats that I can leech on to, because he not only is he progressing, because you had to, you started your job with the news company in Augusta and so forth. So you started your job, you started your career, and but besides that, you kept a friendship. So my first impression was a good impression. I like this. This is one of the cats I want in my life. I want a part of my life, because your friendship was essential to me, and so first impression was a good one. It was a good one, and I like to say that I reciprocated it, and it's taken us this far.
Absolutely, you have, my friend. And one of the things that I appreciate about you is, you were about your business. Everybody knew you. You knew what you wanted to do. You were going to pledge Omega. You pledged the Masons. You were in the military. I mean, you knew what your steps were. When some of us were trying to figure out what we were going to do in life, you kind of seem to have had a clear view down the road.
hmm I had, I can say I had a plan to succeed. I can say that much. Of course, Omega is one of the things that I knew I was going to do, but the rest of it really kind of happened by accident. The military thing, college was expensive, so they came at me with some college money, and so it just happened that it was the Navy, and so I went with it. It wasn't a plan, to be honest with you, but I would say that was something that God put in my path that helped me move along with my life. and that just goes with all of you guys as well. Without you guys, I couldn't have made it because I needed to stay focused on school. Y'all kept me focused on school. When it's time to socialize, we socialized and so forth. But I needed you guys as well. Without you guys, I wouldn't have finished paying because I probably would have been mixed up with the wrong group. You guys
Mhm.
were the right group.
Well, we were there for each other, man. It was in there exactly the right time, right?
Definitely. Right time. It couldn't have been no other time. It had to line up just like that. And it started a place. Ain't no telling what would have happened.
Tell me about some of the things you've been up to since we've last spoke, and that's been some years.
In person, it's been some years. I called you a couple of times, or we text, but we hadn't spoke. You're right, we hadn't spoken in years.
Right.
I retired pretty much, fully retired, from all government service, military and civilian, and right now assist veterans, you know, uh, like yourself, with getting their veterans benefits and so forth. And unfortunately, this COVID, I've been staying home a lot. I'm not playing with COVID, so
Mhm.
I don't get out and socialize as much as I used to. I used to go to Augusta, our hometown. I used to go to Augusta a lot, but like I said, I had 6 family members catch COVID. So that put a halt to me going home a lot. Fortunately, not a lot of our friends in Augusta have caught COVID, but definitely with my family catching COVID as rampant as it went through my family. I said I've been staying home a lot, been staying close to home.
I want to stay
Oh yeah.
on COVID for a minute, though, because again, there is, especially within our community, there is a little bit of distrust when it comes to the vaccine, or at least there was. People were saying they don't trust the vaccine. They want to wait and see what happens before they get it because of um, just some distrust of the government. What are your thoughts on that as somebody who has worked in the medical field?
Well, people have a right to be, suspect. When it comes to the government, because the government, and when it comes to African American, the government has done some dirty stuff to us, using us as guinea pigs, as far back as the Tuskegee Institute experiment. So in our culture, we are always suspect of the government. The government has not always been by black people. They say they by the people for the people, but for black people, they don't always fall in there. So they have a right to be a suspect. But nowadays, uh, I would say, as far as we've come, especially with COVID, I would say at your first chance, take the vaccination. There are protocols for pandemic diseases when it comes to approving and developing vaccinations and so forth. So in a pandemic, you get all hands on deck, so to speak. You get all your top doctors and clinicians working as fast as they can, because a pandemic is the highest level of disease spread that you can get, and as we see, it's devastating. So the
Mhm.
protocols are in place for pandemic to put priority on a vaccination and make it available as soon as possible. Even though it seems like they might have rushed through it. They follow protocol, and I think it's an acceptable vaccination. I think we should all get it as soon as possible. It's a vaccination, it's not a cure, so it only helps your body fight it off if you come in contact with it. So to have your body ready to fight it off will greaten your chances of living and getting through it. COVID is no joke. People, please take it seriously. You know, some of my families had it, and we can't speak enough about it. Because we really got to take it seriously. When the time for vaccinations, get vaccinated. I would say get vaccinated, because it can mean life or death.
And you kind of want to protect those who you would want to go and visit too. You don't want to put them in any harm, and you don't want them to put you in any harm. So right now, like you talked about the protocol, they want you to stay home. They want you to stay socially distant. They want you to wear a mask. So it's important that I think that we do that to protect ourselves and our families.
Definitely, man. I can't stress it enough. Uh, some good people, some good people in my life done passed away due to COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about. It's always difficult um, when you see people our age passing away, be it from COVID or anything else. So it seems like it's happening more and more, and that's kind of scary to me.
Yeah, it is tough, Ralph. You know, all of us, we're here today, and one by one, however, you know, the order is we're going to be leaving. So it is tough. We, you know, as young boys, we never thought about death. That's a, you know, something for old folks. We getting up there now, so
Mm.
we not considered old folk yet, but we headed there. We halfway there. In 10 years, 10 more years or so, we'll be considered old folk. Um,
Yeah.
but it is tough to deal with. It's always tough to deal with the passing of somebody you love, especially a good friend like Dr. Drew Love. You know, great alpha man. He was one of my best friends, and I was supposed to spend 2 weeks with him this past summer
Mm.
at his home at the family farm, and he passed away from a heart attack. Your frat brother Marvin McRae. This was years ago, and I still think about him to this day. He was in the same Masonic lodge as I was, and he had cancer. So, and my last time seeing him was at a Payne College homecoming when he asked me to watch his daughters at one of the Payne College basketball games, at the homecoming basketball game.
Mhm.
I imagine he was a little busy getting his sermon together for that Sunday. So that Saturday, he dropped his girls off and put me in charge of them. And so,
Right.
but to
Right.
deal with it, it's always tough. Um, you really just have to have faith. You really got to have a strong faith dealing with the passing of loved ones, friends, be it friends, family members. You got to be grounded because it, in dealing with death, you know, if you don't have a strong faith, you know, you lose your mind because it won't be because you won't be able to understand it. It'd be unexplainable if you don't have faith. So you got to have that faith.
Do you feel like as Black men, we do a good enough job telling each other, I love you, man?
I do it all the time. uh, we the tough guy. We you know we the breadwinners. You know we're the strong. We looked upon as being the strong one in the family. You know. So and even when it comes to our friends, you know, we know how we feel about one another. To kind of openly express it, uh, it's always been taboo. But luckily, as you get older, you know, it's something that we realize that you got to say to one another if that's how you feel, because you know, tomorrow ain't promised to nobody. So you know, I always say, I always end the conversation. I always end the chat. If it's on my mind, I always end it with "I love you" and "love you, my brother." You know, because that's true. It's true to my heart. It's how I feel. I don't need to hold on to it. You know,
Mhm.
we might get off of this phone call or this conversation, and it might have been of our last. And if I hadn't taken advantage of that opportunity to tell you that, I feel some type of way.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and if something was to happen to me, I'm sure you feel good about knowing that our last conversation ended with "I love you."
Right. Right. Let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Do you ever run into situations or try to find yourself reconnecting with people who maybe at the time the friendship was good, but now you don't have so much in common? How do you work through that? Or has that been an issue with you?
Well, you know, they say birds of a feather flock together. So if you're not flocking with them right now, then it's for a reason. Be it that their career have taken them somewhere, or you know, maybe decisions that they've made in the past have hindered them in some way, shape, form, or fashion. 'Cause a lot of my friends where I grew up with, some of them struggle with the crack epidemic, but they still my friends. When I see them, I speak,
Mhm.
you know, but a lot of them have overcome that and have done great things, but some of them still trapped, and dealing with those health issues from the drug use. I still speak to them. I might even buy them a meal, you know. Uh,
Right.
we don't hang out, we don't keep each other company, but I never forget them. You know,
Right.
we come from the same place. Our directions and our paths, split. But I don't look down on them, because the drug addiction is a disease, in my opinion. And you know, if you got caught up in it, if I can help you in any way, I'm gonna help you. If you still there, you know, I'm gonna do what I can, but I'm gonna leave you where you at until you're ready to come out of it. If I can help you come out of it, I'll help you come out of it. But I'm not gonna stay there with you. So
Right. And when you that up, I think mental health too, mental illness. Um, Sometimes that has a stigma that keeps people from reaching out. And you say you do a lot of work with veterans. How do you uh, help veterans who may be in a similar situation?
and when I got here to Atlanta, just going down to the VA, you come in contact with like-minded folks that done been through some experiences that you done been through, people that done helped me to get through the challenges that I had. So I pass that on. Anybody that I come in contact with that and they tell me they're a veteran, they've been in the military, I say, oh, okay, so you've been down to the VA, you got your VA benefits, And sometimes, like yourself back in the past, they might say, oh, I was just a reservist. I didn't do much. I wasn't deployed and things of that nature, but you still a veteran. You still got benefits, and you still got rights and privileges that you need to be aware of, because not only will they can benefit you, they can benefit your children, and maybe other family members, you know. So I do whenever I come across any veteran, be it on the street or socializing or what have you. Um, I ask them, do they know about the benefits? Do they have the benefits? Are they aware of the benefits? And if they don't, I try to make them aware of it as best I can. And a lot of them don't know they can get medical benefits. A lot of homeless vets don't know they can get housing. So you run across them all the time. At least I do, especially here in Atlanta. You run across them all the time, and so it's just knowledge that seems to have been passed on to a group of individuals, but not so much the black community. Like anything, a majority of the ones I come across are black, and a lot of them just don't know. And
Right.
information you don't know, you have no idea. And so I pass on the knowledge that I have.
Okay. And for somebody who's listening to this who may need that idea, you have any quick information or places they can go to get that?
VA.gov. Any veteran, go to VA.gov. There's so much information on there, you won't overwhelm yourself. VA.gov.
All right. So check it out. What makes you a dope friend?
I'm infectious. I can actually say that my personality is infectious. I don't just it's like when I meet somebody, I don't just meet that person. Eventually, I'm gonna know just about the whole family. If somebody really knows me, it's somebody else in their family that knows me too. Like you, your wife, your sister. You know, uh, DeAndre, DeAndre Beasley, our friend, Kelsey
Mhm.
Beasley, Portia Beasley, they mom and dad. So if you really know me, I'm infectious. I'm gonna be around you. I'm gonna know somebody else in your family. And I don't. I say that I got that personality from my mom as well. She had a very infectious personality that people just cling to. Wanted to talk to, wanted to be around. So I got that infectious personality from my mom.
Well, that's a good thing, man. That's a good thing. And some of the names you mentioned, great friends. And
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's cool. Hey, once this COVID is over, man, we got to have a big cookout. Not
matter of
necessarily
fact,
homecoming. We can do homecoming too, but we just need to have a cookout. We need to get together and reunite.
Yeah, I'm trying to come to Charleston. I've been trying for the longest. I've been telling you before. I was planning to come to Charleston with some Navy buddies.
Uh-huh.
But then COVID hit, man. COVID hit and kind of messed us up because we lost amongst us. He's our friend, but amongst my Navy group, we lost Richard Holloman. When we lost Richard Holloman, my Navy crew, we said we got to get together because we just don't know. We take it for granted that we're here today, and we just don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And when Richard Holloman passed away, all of us was at the funeral, and that brought us together. But we don't want to come together like that all the time at a
Right.
funeral. So we planned a trip to Charleston, and it's about a good 10, 15, 10, about a good 10 of us that were real tight in our Navy Reserve days, and still tight to this day. We keep in touch with one another all the time. And we're gonna come to Charleston, man. So when we do, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna try to come at a time when it's good for you, that you can take some time off, that you have some time off, that we can. If we can't come to your house, we can pick a place to go and grill. We pick a park or something and go somewhere and grill out and have a good time.
Please
Definitely,
do. I'm going to make myself available because I'd like to do that. I feel like if we had
definitely,
known
definitely.
COVID was coming, probably would have changed some things a long time ago. I
Yeah,
can't tell
yeah,
you the last homecoming that I've even been able to come to because it conflicts with my work schedule most times. But
yeah, yeah.
it's important to reach out and get together, and we've
It
got to
is.
make room to do it.
Friendship has always been essential to me. I've needed it everywhere I went. Afghanistan, Korea, Japan, Russia, everywhere I've gone. Uh, I think about you guys. I try to send you guys something back. If I'm gonna send you something, it's gonna include your wife. So because both of you have always supported me. You always answer my phone calls, and anytime I reach out to you, your hand is there for me to grab. So
Yes, sir.
we definitely got to get together and chop it up, laugh it up, reminisce, all that.
Well, is there anything that I can do to help you? You've helped me in so many ways over the years. Right now, I don't know how big this platform is going to get. I'm not doing it to necessarily make it big. I'm doing it to reach out to some of the dope people in my life and let them know, hey, I love you and I appreciate you. Is there anything I can do for you?
Oh man, just keep being you, man. Keep your platform, keep it going. I might need you to spread a word or two, from time to time. You never know. So keep your platform, keep doing positive things, and everything, anything you can do for me in the future, you've already done for me in the past. Just keep it up. Just keep being my friend, cause I like I said, I love you.
What are the dopest characteristics of some of your friends? When I think of somebody being a good friend, you come to mind. Uh, what are some of the characteristics that come to mind when you think of somebody being a dope friend?
Passionate, sense of humor. Hanging with us, if you ain't got a sense of humor, you're gonna fall by the wayside. Cause any slip up, you're gonna hear some jokes. So
Right.
definitely sense of humor. Passionate about what you're doing. Always doing the right thing. Regardless of the outcome, you're gonna do what's right. Regardless, and never staying in trouble, getting in trouble, or even thinking about it. Being that role model to kids, not just your own, but kids in general. So those are characteristics I look at. And just being available, being humble, and being available. Because pretty much all of my friends were very humble. We come from humble beginnings. We don't take for granted where we are. We know the path to get there wasn't easy, and without one another, supporting us, we wouldn't be where we are. So definitely be very passionate and have a sense of humor, because you slip up, you're gonna get cracked on.
You're gonna get roasted. Freddie, I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for being a great friend throughout the years. And let's do a better job of staying in touch, my friend.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you for having me. Tell your wife, your sister, and everybody I love them. And I look forward to seeing them sometime soon, post-COVID.
You know it. Love you too, bro.
All right. Take care, brother.